Okay, so I'm going to assume now that you have connected your social networks under the integration section. You've set up all your various account details, you set the time, your time zone, your currency, and you've connected a Stripe account. So those are all covered in previous videos. So in this video, we are going to start actually looking at the voucher campaigns. Now there's only really 3 tabs out of the 5 that we need to worry about here. So let's just have a quick look. So we're going to go into the Christmas voucher campaign and we're going to click edit. And you'll recall, if you've watched the overview video, that we have 6 tabs in here. Now I'm going to start on the landing page tab and I'm going to work backwards because the sort of important ones are landing page, media, and then setup is kind of the final one that we need to look at. So the first thing I'm going to say in here, I'm going to break this into 2 separate videos. I'm going to break this into the landing page itself and then the voucher, because they're both on this same page, but I'll break them into 2 separate videos just to keep it snappy. First thing, very important thing, make sure that you have a reference. This is a payment reference. This is what will go across to Stripe to indicate payments for this particular campaign. So make it something that's specific to the campaign. You could put a year on it because you can obviously run these campaigns as often as you want, and you can always change this reference in future. That's completely your choice, but you do need to make sure that you have something in there. Otherwise, any changes that you make down here will not transfer. They won't be saved. You'll lose them and they won't go through to your landing page. So please make sure to do that first. The second thing is just to explain the campaign nickname. That is basically something that if you don't like the name that I've given your campaign and you want to call it something that's a bit more specific to you, whatever you type in there will be replaced on that campaign's page. So you will see whatever you type in here rather than my names for things. So that's just a way of making things a little bit more recognizable if you don't think that what I've written is what you would like to see. So those are those 2 little bits. So then the rest of this is fairly self-explanatory. Most of this should not be coded, and I'm going to remove some of these codes because I've used HTML and I don't need to. But the trouble is I've already edited my page. In fact, what I'm going to go and do is I'm going to just jump in to the lockdown liberation one because I can play around with this one a bit more freely. So let's jump into here. So you will see that I've put here testing a new campaign. Let me go and get, so the first thing you really want to do is you want to get the page itself. I'm going to pop that in here so that you've got the browser, you've got in the browser the page that you're editing. And then the other thing that you could go and do is get the success URL, which is the certificate that you're going to see. Okay, so now these will not work, that certificate will not work if you don't have that Stripe reference in there as well. So if anything looks like it's broken, go to that and just check you have something in there before you raise any issues with a moi. Okay, so you can say, look in here and you can say, now you wouldn't have testing a new heading in here, you will have the default text that I've set the template up to have in there. So let me just show you Lockdown Liberation Day, for example. So I'm going to update that. I was showing here that 2 asterisks make bold, but you've also got little shortcuts up here that will help you edit these. And in fact, I have done an extra help post specifically on style related things because I don't want to spend too much time doing that in this video because it's a bit tedious. So I've done an extra support post just to help you with those. But essentially, you edit these pieces of text. So this is your page subheading. Now bear in mind that as soon as you start editing these, you will lose my default text. So just sort of be mindful of that because you won't be able to go backwards to it once you've updated it. So I'm going to click update. And you will see that sometimes it comes back to this landing page tab, sometimes it doesn't, so sometimes you need to give it a nudge. If we go on to this page now, you'll see that my headline will change and it will become Lockdown Liberation Day, and there you'll get the page subheading and all that fun stuff. So I have done a diagram which shows you the actual landing page itself, so this page, along with an image explaining what each of these are called in our system, so you know exactly which things you're changing. But basically the form heading is this area up here, testing a new form heading. The form button text is this button text, funnily enough, and then the rest of the stuff that you can edit is down in this section, and that's the page description. Now there's one little trick that I will tell you about. There's a piece of text here. Sometimes the spacing doesn't work out very nicely, and this is a very easy way of adding an extra line. So this is your triangle brackets with a BR, and then another set of triangle brackets, open and close, with a /BR. So that basically says, give me it's a break, a line break essentially. And that says start a line break and then end a line break. So that will give you a line. So it's quite a nice way of just making things a bit simpler, just spreading things out a little bit. And I do use those, and they're worth you just knowing about, just to help you sort of spread things out a little bit. But otherwise you can use most of the tools in here. This landing page conclusion is right at the bottom of your page, just down here, and you will have your branding underneath this section, and this is where your details that are put in the branding details tab, this is where this will all be pulled from. So these will be links to your Facebook page, your main website, any other links that you want to add in there, and you must have a privacy policy on there. So that is basically the landing page in a nutshell, and you can edit all of this stuff, and you should edit all of this stuff, and please don't worry if we've put 20% discounts in there. That was just our sort of default go-to discount amount, but you can change this to completely suit yourself, and it doesn't have to be discounts. It could be buy one get one free. It could be, I'm actually running a webinar very shortly, and I will make sure that you've got details to explain all the kind of different things that you can do with this, but you can obviously edit this page to completely suit what you want to be able to do. In the next video I will go through voucher details and just explain those in a little bit more detail.